most important thing you can do is listen to your body and never ever go into pain. Listen to your own sort of reactions, how your body feels on the inside. Assume nothing. And when it comes to our range of motion, I want you to feel the potential for movement. Even when you feel like you've reached your end range and you can't go any further, just feel the potential for where that movement possibly could go if you were to keep practicing. So without further ado, I'm going to go onto my hands and knees. Spread those hands out. Let's just warm up our wrists a little bit and just do a few little circles, just feeling the weight spreading out through the hands. Feel your shoulder blades widening, and I'm going to change direction. Just feeling my pelvis stay nice and stable. My pelvis feels like it's widening as I shift into the back part of that movement. And I can really feel my wrists and my hands coming back to my fingers, getting a little grip on the floor with the fingers and the heels of the hands, and then extending those arms into the full range, knees underneath those hips. Take a nice deep breath in, and as you breathe out, pull up the abdominals, pull up the belly button, and let that push you up into a big angry cat stretch. Take a nice inhale. And exhale and release it back out. And just feel those shoulder blades widening and the chest drawing forward and up. And again, exhale from the abdominals. Try not to clench the bum or either tense the neck, the chest. And when you breathe out, reaching through that full extension. Inhale, exhale, draw up from the middle of the body and just allow the head and the tail to respond, and releasing it back out. One more time, exhale. And inhale. Pressing out with those shoulders, and then just find the midpoint. Just find where everything is long and flat and in the center. Now breathe into your belly. And then draw your belly up, initiating from the pelvis, but don't move the spine. And again, inhale. Down into the belly and exhale, drawing the navel to the spine, softening those ribs, breathing all the air out, squeezing like you need a wee, and breathe. And exhale every atom of air out, gently pressing outward with those hands, drawing navel to spine, engaging the front of the pelvic floor. We're going to tuck under the toes. And we're just going to breathe out, feel that same action, and use it to draw the knees off the floor. Don't change the shape of the back, and gently bring them back down onto the ground. And again, pressing outward, widening the chest and the shoulder blades, navel to spine, every atom of air out of the body, and gently releasing it down. Again, exhale. Floating the knees up off the floor and gently rocking back and forward, letting the pelvis widen to the back, and feel yourself going over the front of those wrists, just challenging those angles and challenging your core to stay engaged all the way through. Find the middle and gently place them back down. Pointing the toes, threading the needle, hand reaching underneath the ear and shoulder, and pressing back up. Other side, reaching it through, and pressing back up. Again, reaching it through, and pressing back up. into angry cat curl, tucking that pelvis under from the tail, and then articulating up the spine, vertebra by vertebra, gently rocking back towards those heels as you breathe. Breathe out as you reach the hips back. Just kind of let them widen, rippling through your spine. Stay sitting on your heels as you bring that chest up. Just a little downward pressure on those hands and press against those shins to gently rock forward. Exhale, tuck from the tail, initiating from the pelvis, curling it up vertebra by vertebra, just warming up, rocking back into those heels. Start at the tail, let the bum widen, stick it out, ripple through the spine, little downward pressure on the hands, bringing the breastbone forward and up, pressing against those shins. Coming forward, I'm going to rock back with the same action, just going back, bum out. And then tuck the tail under, initiate from the pelvis, scoop everything in, and then press against those shins, rocking forward over the hands. Release it from the tail, feel the buttocks widening, work through the rib rings, pressing out with the hands as we get to the shoulders, opening the chest, rocking back, butt widening towards those heels, and initiate from the pelvis, squeezing like you need a wee, draw in those deeper transverse muscles, all the way through the spine to the neck, and then pushing against those shins to rock back over the hands and releasing it back out into your long straight spine. We're going to go crawling. So right hand, left knee, going forward, landing at the same time. And then we're going to go backwards, opposite hand and knee, landing at the same time and crawling like you are a stalking pussycat. Going forward, just feeling like you could balance a tray of crockery on your back. And going backwards. When I get to the back of my mat this time, I'm going to tuck under my toes. I'm going to breathe in, let my belly fill, breathe out, pull the navel up to the spine, use that to press up with the hands, float the knees, and crawl, and crawl, and crawl. Opposite hand and knee, really still, nothing else moving. And of course backwards, because I can go forward, I can go backwards. And lowering the knee down. At the end, lower the chest. Take a nice deep breath in, pressing the knees off the ground and into your hands as you extend those legs. Pressing the heels down towards the floor. Give me a little bend into those knees, nipples to knees. And again, press those legs up nice and straight. One more time, bend those knees, nipples to knees, widening those shoulder blades and just stretching up. We rise up onto the balls of the feet. Give me a tiny tuck, about a third of the curl forward, and then release it and go back. Stick out that tail, lower the heels, extend into the neck, and rise up, tuck about a third of the distance, and roll it back, widening the sit bones, extending to the neck, looking at the ground, and peel it up, tuck everything, curl, quarter, third of the distance, and releasing it, butt out, head up. Let's go 2/3, up, tuck, come to those ribs, peel through the ribs and the lumbar spine, butt out, heels down, head up. Rise up, 2/3, scoop, initiating in the pelvis, each and every time. Rise up, from that pelvic bowl, and releasing it back, butt out. All the way forward, curl all the way through. Open the hips. I'm going to keep my legs straight. You have the option of bending the knees and putting them on the floor. Reverse, tuck the chin in, tuck those ribs in, pull in the lower tummy, curl through, eventually sticking out the butt and lifting the head. One more time, curl all the way up, curling it all the way through. Straight legs, push into the heels, straight arms if you can, straight legs. And then feel the potential for this movement as you ripple through your spine, serpent-like, and then end in this big TP. I'm coming all the way forward one more time, curling it up and through. This time I am going to point my toes. Feel that lovely stretch, lowering down through the chest. Hands underneath those shoulders. Deep breath in, breathe out, gently tip the pubic bone into the floor, scoop the lower tummy up and extend those legs. Elbows are back in towards your body and just off the ground. And we're going to start here with the elbows drawing back as we lift the chest, floating it up, coming into your big swan or cobra. Dropping the chest down and we go bum first. And all the way back towards those heels. Inhale, exhale, go through the middle as low as you can. You could shift the arms if you needed to. And feel the potential of this movement. Breathing and rolling through your body. Bum up, peeling it up. And back towards those heels. Good. Last time, through the middle, as low as you can. You can see there's about 3 repetitions of everything. And breathe. Bum up and rocking back towards those heels. I'm going to come back onto my all fours. I'm going to tuck those toes under. Feel how I lift myself up off the ground by initiating those abdominals. And I'm going to start to turn myself around. So I'm going to just bring myself right arm over and then bring that right leg over. Left arm over and left leg over. Change direction. Left arm, left leg, right arm, right leg. Come back. Right arm. Ooh, I did it all together. And around we go. Coming back. I'll try and figure my pattern out a little bit better. And coming back and down. This time I'm going to come up into a bit of a bear crawl. So I'm going to lift my hips up. My knees are slightly bent. And I'm going to go opposite hand and leg. Pushing forward. Landing simultaneously is my intention. And coming back. And forward. Opposite arm and leg, because otherwise you will feel like you're going to fall over. And back, and back, and back, and back. Bring those knees back down onto the ground. And let's just sit back for a moment and roll out the wrists. I'm going to give myself a nice little infinity roll. And then I'm going to just stretch my fingers and that bend, right angle bend of the wrist. And then take it into a nice pattern that will also incorporate some shoulders at the proximal joints. Yeah. Little proprioception, maybe the other way. Took me a while to feel competent in both directions, which is always really interesting. So I'm going to just come onto my hands and knees again and just take my fingers back towards my knees and just back of the hand on the floor, flatten it out, and then see if you can straighten that arm. You don't have to put a lot of weight on it, but you could gently lean back if you want a little more stretch. And then I'm going to come to the other side. Back of the hand, flat down. Just straightening the arm. And getting a little bit of lean back if I need a bit more. And then coming back. Tucking under those toes, breathe out and find that deep core connection. Navel to spine. Walk your feet in a little bit closer. We're going to take the left leg off and extend it to the right side, and the right arm will come off. And we come back as Wally. And then swap it out for a scratch and come back. And again, and extend and come back and extend. and come back. And let's flex the foot and come back. So what I want to make sure is that I bring my feet pretty close underneath my bum so that I've got a really good place to pivot from. And back. But too close is also going to have my bum really high. So got to be careful of that one as well. And back, and the other side. And back. Lowering those knees down, coming down onto the bottom, and swinging those legs around to the front. So I've got my feet in line with my sits bones, and I'm going to set my intention just with the hands underneath those legs and drawing myself up nice and tall, feeling my shoulder blades where they are, feeling my arms belong to my back. And as you breathe out, initiate from the pelvis and tuck that tail under. Inhale as you go forward, and exhale, peeling up onto your sits bones. Inhale at the top. Exhale. Toes down. Going forward, scooping in the belly. And exhale. Inhale. Broadening into the back. Pressing into those sits bones, feeling they're both equal. And exhale, initiating from the pelvic bowl, rolling back, breathing into the back body. Arms lifting up. Inhale, sitting tall. We're going to rock the knees over. I'm going to the front, to the camera, and I'm going to rock those knees over, making a nice square, bring it back to the center, and rock it over the other way, and come back to the center, and twist. And what may happen is you may start crawling forward on your mat, which is what happened. So I'm going to feel myself pull that hip back every time. I pull the hip back to try and stay more on the spot. And if you need to use the hands on the ground, then that's what it is. And last time, hand over and come back. Stretch those legs out in front of you, reaching forward. Peel yourself back down, vertebra by vertebra, scooping in the tummy, reach back overhead. Bring the hands to behind your head. We're going to inhale into chest lift, zipping those legs together, slide the ribs down, breathing all the air out. Inhale, lowering the head back down. And again, and just feel that support from around the back of the shoulders, the cradle of the back of the arms as it holds the weight of the chest, the neck, the shoulder girdle, the head, and the ribs are just sliding down, helping to accentuate that. I'm in neutral pelvis. I'm not tucking my pelvis under each time I curl up. Squeeze those inseams together. And lowering back down. One more time. Hold. And now I want you to find your right shoulder blade. And then find your left shoulder blade. And then find your right shoulder blade. And find your left shoulder blade. And you're just like a little boat rocking in the ocean, zipping those legs together. Big toes, ankles, knee bones, inner thighs. And breathing. And last one, back into the center. And lowering it back down to the ground. Fold the right knee into your chest. Extend them up into the air. Flex the foot. Lower them all the way down and point. Other side, bend it in, stretch it up, flex, lower it down and point. Right leg in, stretch up, flex, lower, point. Left in, stretch up, flex, lower, point. In, stretch up and flex, lower, point. One more time, in, stretch up, flex and lower back down. So I have plenty to feel those loosen off and what it feels like. Just stretching those arms overhead into your roll up, curling chin to chest. Press those lower ribs into the floor as you roll all the way forward. Peel yourself up nice and tall. So I'm going to go for a little bit of rocking now. I'm going to curl forward and I'm just going to rock back, arms next to my ears if I can, hips up, roll forward and reach. Rock back, hips up, roll forward and reach. And just massage the spine. Think about initiating from the pelvis. Breathe out and squeeze like you need a wee and press the bottom up. There's a real through the middle there. Right through the front of the pelvic floor, deep transverse. One more time. And land it. Roll back down. Bring those hands to behind the head, and shall we just have another little feel how that feels. Bring the leg in, stretch the leg up, flex the leg, and lower back down. Peel to point. Other side. So I'm not saying there's going to be a massive big change. I'm just saying that maybe it felt a little different. Maybe a little bit easier. Right, so from here, let's bring those legs back. And I'm going to go into a little pelvic curl with a little bit of a sequence. So let's just put those hands on the floor next to your hips, widen those shoulder blades, feet in line with your sits bones. Feel the tripods of each foot, big ball, baby ball, heel arches lifted, and as you breathe out, engage, initiate from that pelvic bowl, rolling into the imprint, and then stand down onto the feet to get the backs of the legs to fire. Little glute medius, find the shoulder blades, breathing in and breathing out as you peel it back down again, vertebra by vertebra. Release to neutral. Inhale. Exhale, peeling it back, standing into those feet, knees reaching forward over those second and third toes, lovely opening in the hips. Belly button to spine. And release. One more time. Okay, let's start our patterning here. Right leg. Let's bend him in and extend him up into the air. Flex lower down. Point lifted back up. Cross the leg over the knee. Open the right knee out. Roll the pelvis down. Pelvic curl. All the way to the floor. Left leg folds in. Put the left foot down onto the ground, toe ball heel, pelvic curl, standing into the feet, left knee reaches forward, peel up the spine, open the line of the pelvis. I'm turning out that right knee, and then I'm going to unfold it, stretch it up into the air, flex lower down, point lifted up, bend the leg, put it on the ground, breathe in. Breathe out as you roll down, take those arms back overhead, reach back. And reverse all that. Initiate from the pelvis, arms comes over, standing into those feet. Feel the tripods engage with those arches. Find your shoulder blades, left leg up, stretch it into the air, flex the foot, lowering down, reaching away, keeping those hips level, point and lift it back up. Cross the leg over at the ankle, turning out the knee, hips are square as you roll it down. Try and stay in the middle of your spine. Use the floor for feedback. Pay attention. Back off. Breathe in. Roll back. Standing into... Oh, sorry. Bring the right knee up to your chest. Oops. And then lower the right leg down. Toe ball heel. And peel it back. Initiating from the pelvis. Extending that right knee forward over the second and third toes. Find the shoulder blades. Unhook the left one. Stretch it up. Flex. Lower down. Point, swing it back up, bend that leg in, put the toe down, toe ball heel, and roll it down vertebra by vertebra. So I'm going to let you just work with that pattern. We're going to do it again. Breathe out, roll the pelvis back, knees reaching over the second and third toes. Find the shoulder blades. Right leg bends up and stretches into the air. Flex lower down, point, swing back up. Cross the leg over, turn out the knee. Pelvic curl down, roll down through the middle of the spine. Release it, fold that left leg into the chest, stretching the bum. Put the left leg back down, pelvic curl, rolling it back up. Initiate from the pelvis, hips level and square. Unhook the leg, stretch up, flex lower down, point, swing back up, bend the leg in, put it down, roll down, toe ball heel, through the spine, and release it to neutral. Inhale, left side. Exhale, peeling it back, initiating from the pelvis, standing into the feet, knees reaching forward. Where are my shoulder blades? Pubic bones on top. Left leg comes in, stretching it up. Flex, lower down. Point lifted up. Cross them over. Turn it out. And peel it down vertebra by vertebra in the middle of the spine. Inhale, exhale, fold the right leg in. Stretching the bum, putting it back down, toe ball heel. Initiate from the pelvis into imprint. Oh, mine was very rocky. Knees reaching over the second and third toe on that right leg. Unhook the left. Stretch it, flex, lower down. Point lifted up. Bend it, put it back down onto the ground. And peel it down vertebra by vertebra. Fold both knees back into your chest. Hands just underneath the thighs. And let's go into our V-sit. Roll forward. Up and lift. Tuck that tail under, bend the knees, roll back down. Decide whether you want to use your hands. Initiate from the pelvis. Tuck the pelvis slightly. Feel those deep lower abs engage. And then deep lower abs again. Pushing you back and coming to the floor. And initiate from the pelvis. And lift. Point those toes, squeeze the legs together, and exhale from the pelvis and roll back down. So, one more time. Stay there. And I want us to bring the hands down onto the ground. Open that chest. We're going to go over to the right bum and bring it back center. And over to the left bum. And exhale, center. Well, again, hand over to the right. Hand, center. Feel the potential for movement. Feel the potential for that stretch. And bring it back. Right leg lower down. Left leg lower down. And just gently press into the heels of the hands and open the chest. Inhale. Exhale, initiate from the pelvis. Tuck the pelvis in like you want to imprint. Until you can take the hands away and curl forward into your front stretch. And rolling it back up. Shall we now have ourselves back onto our all fours. We've got our hamstrings stretched out a little bit. And we're ready to kick around a bit. The wrists have had a nice break. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead, tuck those toes under. Find my up stretch. Right. So we're going to come into plank, lengthen that body. Make sure that you are working by holding the center of gravity nice and firm between the pubic bone and the belly button. That sense of navel to spine without letting it push you up into this really round shape. Press out with those arms slightly. And from here we're going front leg pull. I'm going to go through the pattern slowly once. Right leg comes in. We're going to go into up stretch. Your bum's going into the air. You're going to lift the knee and then open the hip as you extend from knee to toe. Reverse that by bend the heel towards the bum. There's a lovely stretch in the thigh there. And then tuck the knee in, tuck the pelvis in, curling all the way forward till you actually find that knee comes onto the ground. Unless you have some knee issues, in which case I would maybe not go that deep. And then let's put the leg on the ground and engage the hamstring to pull the heel up towards your head. We're going to take it back, tuck the toe under, and we're going to just press the hips up. And again, unravel, but this time lifting the knee up and extending from knee to toe. Lower the toe down, touch the floor and lift it back up again. To step forward slightly and then rotate towards that front leg. I use my right, so I've turned to the right. Keep that nice long plank position, open the arm to the side. Head back in line with your tailbone and ribs together are really going to help you find your balance. as we bring the toe to the knee, and we're going to extend that leg up into the air. Lovely. We're going to bend it again, rotate towards the ground, knee off the floor, and then step back and back into your up stretch. How's that for a sequence for today? Shall we go with that? So forward into plank, I'm doing left leg. Left knee comes into the chest, front leg pull. Up stretch with the bum, then the knee, then the hip. And then stretch to those toes. Curl it back, toe to your head. And then curl the knee into your chest, tucking the pelvis, curling all the way forward. If you can, place the knee down. Good for you. Back knee goes down. And chest is up as we bend that back leg, curling into the hamstring. Take it back, tuck under the toe. We're going straight back up to extend the leg up into the air as high as you can manage. Kicking things, touch the toe to the floor, kick it back up, step forward slightly with that left leg, rotating towards the left side. Lovely side plank, shoulders down. Head in line with your tail, ribs are organized, toe to knee. Extend from knee to toe. Hold it, toe to knee again. Rotate back to the front, knees off the floor before we step back and up stretch. Let's take a lowering down. Shake out those wrists maybe a moment. I might turn myself around so that I don't kick anything. I can rather bump my head. Let's have a go. So we're going to let that flow a little bit. I will talk, but I'll try not to over-cue you guys. So spreading those hands out. Get a good grip with the fingers. Here's the hand. Remember, when I stand on my hands are like feet. I need to have an arch. It helps me to connect things. Take the right leg out. Take the left leg out. Nice long plank line. Head in line with the tail. Breathe out and gently pull the belly button towards your spine as you widen those shoulder blades. And let's go. Right leg, front leg pull. Take it up. Stretch. Curl it back in, tucking that tail under. Curl forward, unwind. Bend up that back leg. Taking it back down. Unfold yourself back up into the air. Lower to touch. Kick it back up. Step with the right. Twist to the right, lift the right arm, find your balance, right toe to left knee, extend from knee to toe, end it again, bring that right arm over, you're on your 3 points, step back, up stretch, that kind of finished it off, to rock forward, find belly button to spine, widen those shoulders, left knee in, knee up, hip up, toe up, stretch, curl heel to bum, curl it in, tuck around all the way through into your kneeling, and bend the back leg up, and stretch it back, tuck under the toe, curl back in, and fold, extend that leg up into the air, lower to touch the floor, kick it back up, step with the left one, twist to face the left side, left arm up. Find your balance, head in line with your tail, ribs together, and we're extending that leg from knee to toe. Bend it back in, bring the arm over, and step back, and up stretch. And walk the knees back onto the floor. Shaking it out. So, I'm a little limited today because I am inside. I was really hoping that we'd have a dry spell of some sort like we've had through the week so that we could have played a little bit greater, but it's not been too bad at all. So I'm going to do one more little brave maneuver, and we're going to try and kick up with a handstand. So if we come to our all fours, and tuck under those toes, stretch the legs up into up stretch, and take the right foot. Start with the right one. We will do both. It might not be your strong leg, and that's okay, but we really should try both. So with the left belly of the hamstring, I know where it is, I'm going to be kicking up. The right leg is going to end up dangling, so I'm not going to fall over. I'm not going over the top of my head because science says it's not going to happen, all right? So when you breathe out, push off and come back down. Push off. I'm not kicking my right leg up. I am letting it dangle. I am just getting a bit braver personally because I have been practicing. And so it's going a little bit higher. I'm going to go 2 more and 1 more. And then I might just take a rest. I don't feel like I really need one, but let's do one anyway. And then when we're ready, we can come back for the other side. Left foot's going to step slightly forward. And when you're ready to, wait, I'm going to give my right hamstrings a slapping so I know exactly where I'm going to fire up from. And as you push up, try and feel the belly of the hamstring kind of pulling you. And keep those ribs together, pushing off. 2 and 1, and bringing it back in. So that's a nice little play. That's what I like to play with when I play. So I'm just going to come back just to finish off with a little bit of winding down. Feet slightly wider than the pelvis. Pelvis is in neutral. Shoulder blades nice and settled. Arms out to the side. Just rocking the knees from right. Breathing in, breathe out, and rocking it back to the left. Let the legs just relax. And start the movement with your left leg. Let your left leg just push back and gently roll you across your pelvis. Feel how it nudges the pelvis across. And there's this chain reaction. The right leg just falls. And as you bring the right leg up, you're kind of smushing into the right bottom and it just pushes you over the pelvis. And the left leg just falls. Just allow that hip to open subtly. And again. Just appreciating the biomechanics, noticing if it's any different from one side to the other. Noticing if one leg might be more bossy and want to be pushing the other one around a little bit more, or whether they are both equally as happy to just receive the information. Feel how it feels, if there's any pulling or tightness. And just bringing it back into the center. Take a nice deep breath in and out. And thank you so much for joining me. I hope that challenged you.